Hi, my name is Kim Clemens, and this is my self-assessment video for EDOL 700 2.2. And I'm going to be looking at 5 different assessments that talk about who I am as a leader. The first assessment that I'm going to be looking at is my professional disposition self-assessment. The area of which I chose to talk about is communication. I found this to be a weakness or an area of growth. And so part of this comes from growing up where I didn't have a good role model on how to communicate. And so I basically didn't know how to communicate with others. And then that also is true for sharing my feelings, that I wasn't able to convey my feelings to anybody else because I kept them within. And then I have a problem of speaking before I think. And so that is an area of concern that I need to work on to make it better, because I've had some situations where it was very uncomfortable for me saying things before I really thought about how I wanted to say them. So my plan for improvement is to be intentional in who I speak to and what I say, making sure that I have conversations that are worthy of being talked about. I'm going to plan on journaling, and this will help me with being able to express and share my feelings a little bit better. That after I journal and write it down, I'm able to then talk about it after that. So if I can't even articulate my feelings within myself, then how do I expect to be able to articulate those feelings with others? And then the last thing is to be mindful of what I'm going to be saying. So taking that extra few seconds or minute to really put together the thoughts that I want to say, and making sure that it's not something that is inappropriate or makes others uncomfortable. The next assessment that I looked at and want to talk about is my noble purpose. My noble purpose is that I have a positive impact on my students' lives where I can make a difference in each one of their lives. This is really important to me as I'm a 5th grade teacher, and I want to make sure that I can do all that I can to make an impact on their lives. A positive one that they can grow from and can mature and be a better citizen and a better student because of it. And then my personal goal is my noble purpose is also to create a legacy for my family that is built on my faith in God. I have 2 sons, and they're both married with 2 grandsons right now, and I really want to show them and have a legacy that is built around our faith in God. The next one that I looked at was 27 things I want to do before I die. So with this, I want to travel Europe. So this is a goal of mine, and this is something that I do want to do before I die. And then I also want to travel to Africa, specifically Kenya. And the reason for that is that there is an organization there that I want to be a part of that's called Compassion International, where I'd love to be able to take pictures and do videography of what they do to make lives better for the children that are a part of their organization. And that leads me to my next one, where I want to be a photographer. And I'd love to be able to photograph things around the world, different places and people that are a part of our world and our society. And then on a personal, more career path, I would love to be a principal. That is my goal and aspiration, is to be a principal of a school where I can touch even more lives than just the 26 students that I have right now in my 5th grade class. And that leads me to my next assessment, which is my fantasy job. My fantasy job is to be a professional photographer for a sports events. And I love sports. I love football, basketball, and baseball. and soccer as well. And this would be my dream job, is to be able to just stand on the sidelines and take pictures of beautiful catches and of beautiful plays that happen throughout the game. And then my next one is my values. This assessment, I went over many different characteristics and came up with these 5 characteristics. The first one is respectful. I really believe that that is a part of the core of who I am, is being respectful to others. And that is something that I try to instill in my students as well. And so that is an area that I feel is most important. Another area that I think is a part of who I am and my values is being creative. And this is really, you see this when you see the art that I do. I do yearbook for my school, and the pictures that I take for the school and for myself is a way of me being creative. And then my next one is being a risk taker. And this is shown in many different ways. I'll up and just take travel somewhere on a whim. But also, as my educational career has been a lot of risk taking. When I first went back to go get my bachelor's and my master's, I was a single parent with 2 young boys. And it was my goal to become, to get both my bachelor's and my master's. And even now, getting my doctoral degree is another risk-taking to do that as well. And then my next one is caring. I love to care for people. That is just a part of who I am. And I care for each one of my students, even my little ones that can be a challenge at times. I really care for them as well and want their best interest at heart. And then my last one is being dependable. And so this is something that I instill again on my students, and I think that is part of me. If I say I'm going to do something, you can count on me doing it. That's how dependable I am. And so with that being said, my overall of all my assessments is that my creativity comes up as a big part of who I am. Family is another area that is very important to me and to who I am. And then my career is another aspect. And you can see that through the different assessments that I took. So with that, I would like to thank you. And that is it. Bye-bye.